Title 2. Crimes Against the Fundamental Laws of the State. Chapter 1. Arbitrary Detention or Expulsion, Violation of Dwelling, Prohibition, Interruption, and Dissolution of Peaceful Meetings and Crimes Against Religious Worship. Section 1. Arbitrary Detention and Expulsion. Article 124. Arbitrary Detention. Any public officer or employee who, without legal grounds, detains a person shall suffer 1. The penalty of arresto mayor in its maximum period to prisión correccional in its minimum period if the detention has not exceeded 3 days. 2. The penalty of prisión correccional in its medium and maximum periods if the detention has continued more than 3 but not more than 15 days. 3. The penalty of prisión mayor if the detention has continued for more than 15 days but not more than 6 months. And 4. That of reclusión temporal if the detention shall have exceeded 6 months. The commission of a crime or violent insanity or any other ailment requiring the compulsory confinement of the patient in a hospital shall be considered legal grounds for the detention of any person. Article 125. Delay in the delivery of detained persons to the proper judicial authorities. The penalties provided in the next preceding article shall be imposed upon the public officer or employee who shall detain any person for some legal ground and shall fail to deliver such person to the proper judicial authorities within the period of 12 hours for crimes or offenses punishable by light penalties or their equivalent, 18 hours for crimes or offenses punishable by correctional penalties or their equivalent, and 36 hours for crimes or offenses punishable by afflictive or capital penalties or their equivalent. In every case, the person detained shall be informed of the cause of his detention and shall be allowed upon his request to communicate and confer at any time with his attorney or counsel, as amended by EO numbers 59 and 272, November 7, 1986 and July 25, 1987, respectively. Article 126. Delaying release. The penalties provided for in Article 124 shall be imposed upon any public officer or employee who delays for the period of time specified therein the performance of any judicial or executive order for the release of a prisoner or detention prisoner, or unduly delays the service of the notice of such order to said prisoner or the proceedings upon any petition for the liberation of such person. Article 127. Expulsion. The penalty of prisión correccional shall be imposed upon any public officer or employee who, not being thereunto authorized by law, shall expel any person from the Philippine Islands or shall compel such person to change his residence. Section 2. Violation of domicile. Article 128. Violation of domicile. The penalty of prisión correccional in its minimum period shall be imposed upon any public officer or employee who, not being authorized by judicial order, shall enter any dwelling against the will of the owner thereof, search papers or other effects found therein without the previous consent of such owner, or having surreptitiously entered said dwelling and being required to leave the premises, shall refuse to do so, if the offense be committed in the nighttime, or if any papers or effects not constituting evidence of a crime be not returned immediately after the search made by the offender, the penalty shall be prisión correccional in its medium and maximum periods. Article 129. Search warrants maliciously obtained and abused in the service of those legally obtained, in addition to the liability attaching to the offender for the commission of any other offense. The penalty of arresto mayor in its maximum period to prisión correccional in its minimum period, and a fine not exceeding 1,000 pesos shall be imposed upon any public officer or employee who shall procure a search warrant without just cause, or having legally procured the same, shall exceed his authority or use unnecessary severity in executing the same. Article 130. searching domicile without witnesses. The penalty of arresto mayor in its medium and maximum periods shall be imposed upon a public officer or employee who, in cases where a search is proper, shall search the domicile, papers, or other belongings of any person, in the absence of the latter, any member of his family, or in their default, without the presence of two witnesses residing in the same locality. Section 3. Prohibition, interruption, and dissolution of peaceful meetings. Article 131. Prohibition, interruption, and dissolution of peaceful meetings. The penalty of prisión correccional in its minimum period shall be imposed upon any public officer or employee who, without legal ground, shall prohibit or interrupt the holding of a peaceful meeting or shall dissolve the same. The same penalty shall be imposed upon a public officer or employee who shall hinder any person from joining any lawful association or from attending any of its meetings. The same penalty shall be imposed upon any public officer or employee who shall prohibit or hinder any person from addressing, either alone or together with others, any petition to the authorities for the correction of abuses or redress of grievances. Section 4. Crimes against religious worship. Article 132. Interruption of religious worship. The penalty of prisión correccional in its minimum period shall be imposed upon any public officer or employee who shall prevent or disturb the ceremonies or manifestations of any religion. If the crime shall have been committed with violence or threats, the penalty shall be prisión correccional in its medium and maximum periods. Article 133. Offending the religious feelings. The penalty of arresto mayor in its maximum period to prisión correccional in its minimum period shall be imposed upon anyone who, in a place devoted to religious worship or during the celebration of any religious ceremony, shall perform acts notoriously offensive to the feelings of the faithful. We hope you have enjoyed listening. More audiobooks are coming your way. Please support by clicking the subscribe button and bell icon to receive notifications of our latest upload. A like and share is appreciated. Audio and performance copyright by RAK Audio, all rights reserved.